Happy Pride, happy Quiñceanero. We're partying on High School Musical, the musical, the series. Hey, it's Kristen, and today we're talking about Season 2, Episode 5 of High School Musical, the musical, the series. Seb and Gina are throwing a surprise quinceañero for Carlos, and it's bound to be a ton of fun. Consider subscribing if you like my videos, and drop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts on High School Musical, the musical, the series. Are you loving this season? So last night I got a chance to attend the High School Musical, the musical, the series virtual quinceañero event. It was a star-studded time. So many members of the cast showed up. They did trivia, we had musical performances, we got a nice Q&A, and we got to watch the Quiñceanero episode a little bit early. It was so much fun, and I cannot wait to dive into this with you guys. I also wanted to share that I got a chance to do an interview with Joe Serafini and Frankie Rodriguez about this episode, so I will make sure to leave a link right here when it's live. It is party time. Carlos is turning 16, and his friends decide to throw a Quiñceanero party for him to celebrate. Everyone has a job to do. There's pizza, centerpieces. You even got EJ working with Mr. Mazzaro as part of the AV club to record special moments. I knew he was gonna get into that gig. And the way that they talk about EJ, telling stories and capturing authentic moments, it made me wonder if, maybe he'll get into documentary filmmaking or just filmmaking in general when he goes to college. Gina is planning an elaborate dance to celebrate Carlos, a dancer's heart. Incredible. This is what I've been waiting to see for Gina. Sophia Wiley is an incredible dancer, but we haven't really gotten to necessarily see Gina shine vocally, and I thought this song really worked for her. She got her own solo, she's got the moves, her outfit was like a glamorous matador outfit. I was just really pleasantly surprised by the performance, inspired by a dance that Carlos had done when he was younger, and it was really cute to see just a younger version of him, and also how he had influenced Seb before he even knew him. And then Seb comes out and does an insane piano performance of The Climb by Miley Cyrus, and I was so shook. Oh my gosh, I was so shook because I knew we were doing High School Musical songs. I know we're doing original songs. I know we're doing Beauty and the Beast songs. I did not know that it was on the table to tap into the discographies of Disney Channel legends like Miley Cyrus. This just kind of throws in a whole new loop where it's like, wait a minute, we could literally get any song ever, and I am down for it. Seb absolutely killed it. And then at the Quiñceanero virtual event, we got to see Frankie and Joe actually perform a duet version of it, and I was like, oh god, I wish that was in the show too! Oh my gosh, it was so good! And then at the end, we get a cute little Sepalus kiss, and it was just such a heartwarming moment, seeing everyone celebrate Carlos. He's so much fun, one of my favorite characters. I will say though, I wanted to see Carlos have a musical number. I wanted Carlos to perform, and so that was something that I thought was missing a little bit. It's his night. I would have loved to see him do a performance. You know how like they do like father-daughter dances and things at quinceañeros and sweet 16s and stuff like that? Like imagine he picks his madrina, it's Miss Jen, and they do like a big elaborate dance number. How cool would that have been? But maybe they're just saving him, waiting, biding their time until they're like, bam, be our guest, and it's gonna be incredible. So I cannot wait. Now outside of the quinceañero, we also get a lot of other big mic drop moments in this episode. Nene is back. She's been back at school for 2 weeks now. She's with her friends. She's thriving. She's loving it. And she's kind of thinking like, maybe I'll do my own solo thing now that I'm not in the musical with everyone. But Ricky really wants her to be a part of it. First she talks to Gina, which was a huge mistake, because Gina, we know, has a crush on Ricky. Him asking advice about Nene doesn't really bode well, and you could just tell that in this episode Gina is really fed up and tired of how Ricky is sort of treating her like a therapist in a way, or treating her as this person to talk to about Nene when she likes him. She don't want to hear that. I was glad that she set those boundaries and was kind of like, I don't want to hear about this. And then Ricky goes and talks to Miss Jen. She's like, I don't really know if we can't really put Nene in the show, it's kind of too late. But then we find out that North High kind of steals an idea that Miss Jen had for the show and takes it to another level, and now they are not going to be doing The Little Mermaid anymore. They're planning to do Beauty and the Beast too! Ah! Chaos! Chaos ensues! And I mean, I think it'd be pretty cool if East High was like, okay, well then we're gonna do a whole nother musical, or okay, you know what, we're gonna do The Little Mermaid now. But it looks like instead Miss Jen has some sort of idea, maybe inspired by a rose, maybe not, and she thinks that this is going to bring the show to another level, but also allow Nene to have a role in it. My theories there are maybe they'll have her be some sort of enchantress, something with the rose, or maybe some kind of combination where she represents sort of like the magic magic and the consequences of the musical. I think that there's definitely something there. And then speaking of Gina, you know, Gina in this episode is very clearly kind of making this Quiñceanero also her own mini goodbye party in a way. And honestly, I think that that's a huge mistake. I get that she's homesick, but it felt like the real catalyst for her wanting to leave is because Ricky doesn't like her, and I really don't like that because, you know, Gina's a great character, and to see that a guy's kind of influence would inspire her to leave just makes me feel really sad. She does have this really cute moment with EJ where he kind of like is asking her about how she feels after her performance, and then he's like, let's record, and she's like, wait, you were just asking me? And it was like so sad to me that like just a guy genuinely asking her like, how are you, and like being a person was so shocking. And I do think that they're trying to hint at something between EJ and Gina, but I hope that that's not, again, the reason that she decides to stay. To me, I just don't like the idea that Gina would decide to leave or stay based off of the decision of like one or two guys, when like, to me, this whole entire cast is such a cute little family. They have, you know, such an incredible bond that, you know, I really want them all to stay together, and I want Gina to want to stay because she's having fun with the musical, because this is her family and her friends, just like Nene decided that, you know, this is her family and her friends, she needs to be with them. This episode, they're also starting to tease a little bit more of that Courtney-Howie connection, and, you know, we spotted it, we knew, we're very excited for it. I really want this little duo to work out because they're cute. I like it. And it looks like the teaser for the next episode is just hinting at that even more. Ugh, I cannot wait for a Courtney romance. You know, I think in the first season, she really was kind of just the support for Nene, and in this season, oh yeah, she is thriving, she is Mrs. Potts, she has a job, she might have a boyfriend soon. I'm loving her trajectory right now. There's also definitely a little love triangle brewing between Mr. Mazzaro, Miss Jen, and Mike, Ricky's dad. Who do you want her to end up with? I do want to talk a little bit more about Nene and Ricky's relationship. I feel like there's been so many other couples this season that have really been shining. You know, the little hint of Courtney and Howie, Big Red and Ashlyn, Seb and Carlos, that, you know, I'm like, how are we feeling about Nene and Ricky and, you know, the little bit of a triangle forming with Gina? To be honest, I feel like Ricky hasn't really been shining as much this season as he has in the past, and I'm kind of a little bit more focused on all these other characters, which I think can be good because it really makes this show more of an ensemble versus just like the Nene and Ricky show. And I think that that means, like, you know, maybe down the line when it's time for people to graduate, you can bring in more people, new classes can come in, and, you know, maybe this can continue on sort of like Degrassi style, and I think that it would work. I started thinking about that in this episode, that like, you know, I would be cool watching like more new characters come in and, you know, telling these different stories all set in this East High Drama Club. But I would love to know what you think. Are you still like team Nene and Ricky? Are you like, no, Ricky and Gina? Are you like, forget about them, I'm focused on Big Red and Ashlyn, or Seblos, or Courtney and Howie? Let me know what you guys are thinking. Now for my final thoughts, when it comes down to it, I really enjoyed this episode. I loved that we were focused on a Quiñceanero for an out Latino guy. I do think that they could have done a little bit more to include Carlos's heritage in there. Maybe even bringing his parents into the mix I think would have been really nice. But, you know, the show is really focused on just the kids, so I get that. But I do think that that could have maybe just added another layer to the story. The musical performances in this episode were both top-notch, incredible. I'm so glad that we got to see both Gina and Seb have their own little solo moments. I thought that they really nailed it. The only things that were really missing for me was maybe more of a celebratory group number, or even giving Carlos his own solo. Regardless, I feel like this month we are getting so much incredible Latino representation and Latino LGBTQ representation. Everything from In the Heights to Love Victor to this episode of High School Musical, the musical series, and it just makes me so happy, and I'm really glad that Seb and Carlos got to have the spotlight shown on them in this episode. If you like this one, you can check out more of my High School Musical, the musical, the series reviews over here, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya!